Hello again, everybody. Today I'm just going to finish off this painting, or at least put another layer on it. So at the moment, I love the way this sky looks as it fades to the horizon, and I actually love the composition of the picture. But I'm not quite very happy about the foreground, so I want to try and bring a bit more depth into the foreground, and then I think we might almost be there. So I am going to start off with I think a bit of dry brush and flicking, because I don't want it, this paper is very absorbent, so if I use too much water at this stage it will just blend like this bit up here. So not too much water. I'm going to mix up, there's all sorts of colours on here. The reason this is like this is because I'm halfway through a painting using this purple and I don't want to lose it, so that's for me to come back to later. Anyway, I'm going to mix up a more of a bluish green using some ultramarine. And a bit of cadmium yellow. That's still very bluish, can you see? Although I quite like that. I might just add a little bit of that as it is, quite a greyish blue, just here to just add a few shapes. There we are, and the same over here. You may recognise the brush, it's my size 0 rigger, which is my favourite for squiggling. Okay, I'm going to leave that for now. I might actually just drop a little bit of lemon yellow up here. Lemon yellow is really good just to add a pop of light when you're near the end of a picture. So, yeah. Okay. Now, foreground. I've already done a little bit of dry brush in here. I don't know if you can see these little squiggly marks. And the lines, the vertical lines you can see are from a wax crayon. Not a wax crayon, a candle. It just brings you into the picture a little bit, and I like to do that as well, because you never quite know how it's going to come out, so it adds a bit of surprise to your paintings. So let's take some ultramarine and a little bit of sap green. So can you see again, that's quite a greyish, bluish colour. Oh, that's a nice colour. And that's why I paint landscapes. I like all my greens and blues. There we are. Not too much. Right, I'm just going to do a bit more of this. I know it's a bit random, but right. I'm going to add a little bit more green. So again, sap green and ultramarine gives you this lovely, lovely, it's just a really nice colour. Okay, right. So again, just by adding a few little strokes, it gives a bit of definition to the lower part of the picture, foreground. Do a bit more down here. It's not dark enough though. Okay. There we are. That's not dark enough for me, so I'm going to add a bit more green. I don't want to do too many of these because it's going to end up looking wrong. And uneven. In fact, let's just give it a bit of a swish. There we are, that's better. So I don't want this paper to be very wet. Just want to add a few hit and miss layers to highlight some of this colour in the foreground. When you look at this, can you see how your eye's drawn in over here? So by darkening these areas a little bit and leaving this quite light, it gives us quite a nice contrast. I think I might put a bit more dark over here as well. Okay. So this is actually mixed with mostly ultramarine and just a tiny bit of the sap. Just a few little dots. That's all it needs. And just kind of really gently dragging your brush rather than painting with it. That's all it needs. Over here. When you're doing this, if you squint your eyes up, it helps you to see where you need to put a bit more contrast. So I use blue in all my pictures, even if I'm painting an animal. I like to get a bit of blue in there. Oh, it's just my thing. Got to be unique and different, haven't we? Can you see here, there's actually some of these lines from the wax as well. So if I just try to do this, I'll just bring a bit more life to that area. A bit more down here. I do risk putting too much on. Right, how are we doing? Let me just have a look. I'm just looking through the camera lens because you can see things a bit differently then. Yeah, this is all still a bit wishy-washy down here, isn't it? Okay. Right. Okay, I think what I need to do is add a little bit of contrasting colour. So, let's go. I think this is burnt sienna. I want a kind of a warm reddish colour. So, it's not dark enough. Can you see that colour? It's like I think it's a bit of burnt sienna and a bit of lemon yellow together. Nice warm colour. Now, there we are, that's better. Not too much though. Right, sorry, I stopped talking. I will carry on. Got a bit distracted. Okay. So, I need to think about this painting. Bit of colour there. A few more verticals with that lovely warm colour. That's better. And maybe a couple down here as well. Okay, and over here. Oh, it looks a bit strange at the moment, but I promise you it will look lovely by the time I've finished with it. Okay. The thing with this paper, it's very absorbent, as I've mentioned before, but what that means is as the layers dry, it will actually, the colour does fade quite a lot. So this painting was actually done a few weeks ago, but I have purposely left it alone because I know that as the colours soak in, it changes quite a lot. So, right, and there's a lovely little spot of light just here, can you see? So I'm going to leave that alone. Maybe put a few more dabs of colour up here, and then highlights here. This is maybe a bit bare here. There we are. And I think what I can do as well is add a bit of a warmer colour here. Maybe yellow ochre actually. This is straight out of my travel set, by the way. Not from a tube. It's from my messy palette. Just a little dot of warmth here. Perhaps here as well. Here we go. How's that looking? Need some more colour here. So, okay. Right, coming up to 13 minutes, so I want to try and keep these videos to about 15 minutes long. So just put a few more dabs here. Personally, I get a bit distracted halfway through long videos and then I end up going off to get a cup of tea. So I thought if I do some short videos, they're a bit more kind of bite size, and I can wander off, and you can wander off to get a cup of tea as well. And I'll come back and make sure that I put the link to the next one in the description. Okay, so I think it's time to leave this alone. This is a bit sort of deadish over here, so I'm going to have to do something over here. But actually, remove, nearly forgot what the paper's like. Take a bit more off. I'm going to let that dry and we'll see what the colour's like. So that's just over 14 minutes, and the link to the next video will be in the description. You can subscribe if you like to, and I've also put a link to my Patreon channel where there are going to be lots of PDF tutorials that you can print off as well. Okay, bye for now.